Hello, everyone. This is the Derpy Narrator again. And yes, I'm back. I got my voice back. So apparently I was informed that some weird incident happened, that an image of strawberry shortcake in the bathtub was inappropriately shown and annoyed the wits out of Levy, the thumbnail mascot. Right. I can only assume what was going on. But outside of that, today we'll be talking about what it's like to live in the prehistoric age. So its lifespan was over 3 million years. The tools were made via hominins, and the cooking that they had back then was really basic. It's just like you just heat the meat with fire and bam, just call it a day. So, speaking of which, how do they get their food that you may ask? Well, simple. They often hunt larger animals like mammoths. Excuse me. And they often use stone or bone tools to kill them. But other times, they would gather fish from a lake, pond, river, etc. Yes, they did do fishing back then. And they often have to carry their food with skins and other stuff like pottery. They also did some farming, which lasted from 10,000 to 12,000 BC. No. Okay. Dude. I just said that cooking was that basic back then. They didn't have meat like that. They had no KFC. It wasn't even invented during that time. Alright then. No. So, as for tools, as I said earlier, they are often stone or bone. And as you can see in the image right here, the handle is often made with sticks and whatnot. But as for like the stone and bone parts of them, they would often have to be flaked out or polished. But we can still find these nowadays, and they are often found in archaeological sites like pits and bogs. And a lot of the time they tend to be buried underground. Flintstones. Meet the Flintstones. Have a yappa dabba. Don't show this again! I guess this is a prehistoric setting, but the Flintstones are not real! That's not educational! Stop it! Okay. Well, did people fight? You may ask. Well, long story short, yes, they actually did. However, these raids were not the biggest ever. They tend to fight in smaller groups or take others captive. And the reasoning for this is, one of the reasons for this is like a competition to get food and other amenities that they need to survive out in the wilderness. Now, the best part of the prehistoric age are obviously these creatures. Dinosaurs. And yes, they are extinct like the mammoths. there are a lot of species to go out there, and some were vegan, others weren't. Others just tend to... Some dinosaurs eat other dinosaurs, which is definitely cannibalistic, no question about it. And we get a picture right here about all the species there are. Some are tall, some are fast, some are very ballistic. And yes, of course, the T-Rex. The T-Rex is definitely I'd say is definitely one of the most iconic dinosaur species that we see nowadays. No. That's a Yoshi! No. I know that's a dinosaur, but again, that is not... We're talking about real-life prehistoric age. Alright? We're not doing fictionalism. No. We're not having fictionalism. What is MrBeast doing here? Is that an image of... Is that MrBeast? I'm not saying that he's not great and all, but what does he have to do with the prehistoric age? It doesn't make sense. Alright, let's continue. Oh my gosh, that freaking scared me out of my wits. Wait, are we back? Oh, we're back. Oh, okay. All right. Well, we don't know what just happened there, but anyhow, back to the prehistoric age. So we're gonna talk about where they lived, and caves were the most common places for homes for people back then. However, that's just one place, because later on they would start building homes by themselves with the materials that they find in the wilderness, like sticks or clothing or animal skin, etc. And fun fact, these tent-like places were actually invented during this time. And this is one of those places. And yes, this does kind of look somewhat like a Native American teepee, though somewhat different, as it does use a lot of natural straw to make that, as you can see in the image right there. And this is another place that they... And yeah, oh, also, yeah, they would also have to use grass or mud to keep it stable. This is yet another one of those places that they always live in.
Here's Johnny!
No thank you. Okay, and we're back again. So, yeah. That guy didn't exist. That guy That guy wasn't there, okay? He wasn't. He wasn't. He wasn't. He wasn't. Okay. So, how did dinosaurs become extinct? Now, there's a lot of people out there who might say possibly like all the dinosaurs were hunted down by us humans, but based on what I've researched, I think it's because of natural causes. Most commonly, asteroids that came crashing down to the Earth, or massive tsunamis and wildfires, and an impact winter, which is a type of winter season, with a really huge snowstorm blocking off a lot of sunlight. Make sense? And as we can see here, this is one of those natural disasters. And a lot of the dinosaurs are just running away terrified, as you can see in the image right there. We also get another one, this time hitting the ocean, causing a giant wave. And, no, I am not cringe. Thank you very much. No, that's just Mr. Puzzle. That is Mr. Puzzles. That is not a dinosaur. That is not what a dinosaur looks like. Okay. What? Why do we have an electric guitar? Okay, no, thank you for that. Again, I am not cringe. Stop calling me cringe. Again with the butts. Why do so many of these presentations have butts in them? Hey. Why am I doing this? Why the frick am I doing this? Okay. I am not cringe, okay? Stop calling me cringe! I am not a cringe guy! I am nowhere near cringe! That's just Ernie and Bart! We need actual prehistoric stuff! Okay. I swear, if it calls me cringe one more time, I am not cringe! I am not cringe! I am not cringe!
For an hour. Clapping means ending.
I'm not cleaning this up.